Hi everyone, it's Kelly here. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome back if you've been before. Lovely to have you either way. On this channel we talk books, and today we are talking about plans for 2026 more generally, and more specifically plans for January for my reading. As I said, this is a channel where we talk a lot of books, so the content that you will be seeing from me moving forward for this year is going to be very bookish. I'm saying this because over December I was doing Vlogmas, which was more Christmas focused content. So December, Christmassy. Rest of the year, regular book. That's the vibe here. Okay, so welcome if you have come from watching my Vlogmas videos and you're new to the bookish part of the channel. Thanks for coming back. Alright, let's get into it. So in this video, as I said, I want to talk about my general plans for 2026, which includes us talking a little bit about goals. If you set goals for yourself for your reading, I'd be keen to hear all about them. If you've made a video or if you just want to discuss them down in the comments, please feel free to do that. But let's talk about what I'm planning for this year ahead. So I set a number goal, as in a number of books that I would like to get read by the end of the year, and I've been setting the same goal for the last few years now, which is 52 books by the end of the year, so roughly a book a week. I have had no problems achieving that goal. The last few years I've exceeded it. In the past I would have bumped it up once I'd gotten over that hump, but I don't do that anymore because I just sort of treat anything beyond that as bonus. So, you know, if I can get to that and then I read more, great. I'm happy. I'm happy that I've achieved my goal. I don't need to keep extending it. So that's a constant goal, and that's what I'm going to do again this year. Another goal that I quite regularly set for myself, but one that I'm yet to actually achieve, is as part of that 52 books, I would like to read at least 10 ebooks. The reason I set this for myself as a challenge is because I forget that ebooks exist when I'm choosing what book to read. So I'll be looking at the books on my shelves and I just forget that I have a ton of ebooks that I have purchased over the years that I have not read. So if I can read 10, that'll be great. I'm yet to achieve this goal. I've set the same goal for myself for the last couple of years. Another goal that I've set for myself the last few years is to read the Stella Prize. The last 2 years, I think I've managed to read the short list. The previous year I read the whole long list. That is something I would like to, you know, that's an aspirational goal, to read the whole long list of the Stella Prize. For anyone that doesn't know, if you're outside of Australia, the Stella Prize is sort of the Australian equivalent to the Women's Prize, except that it also includes non-binary people, and it also includes a number of different kinds of books. So poetry books are eligible, for example. Non-fiction, I believe, is eligible. Graphic novels, etc. So like different formats are eligible for this prize, which in the Women's Prize they're not. So it's kind of like the Women's Prize, kind of not. Anyway, it's the prize that makes me the most excited each year, and I like to have a look and try to read it. So I don't know if I'm going to read the whole long list this year. I will try. But if it's not grabbing me, then maybe I won't. So we'll see. And then the last goal that I have set for myself is to make progress on 5 series. This goal was inspired by Krista at Books and Jams, who has a similar series goal for herself. I was inspired to create a tracker for the series that I have. I've got a spreadsheet now, and I would like to make some progress on some of the series that I have begun and not completed. So those are my general goals for 2026. Let me know down in the comments what your goals are, if that's something you would like to do. But if not, that's fine. let's move on. We're going to talk now more specifically about January. So we are, as I'm recording this, it is the 2nd of January. So I have been, I've moved on too quickly. The other thing that I was going to tell you more generally about the year is that I'm doing something this year that I haven't done before. And that is I am going to be attempting the 52 book club. If I had not really heard about this, I'm sure I'd heard it, but I didn't really know what it was. I thought it was just like a prompt challenge, which essentially it is. But there's a YouTube channel and there's a whole thing about it. And also there is a journal that you can buy, which I did. I purchased this journal, which you can only get on Amazon, unfortunately, so that's where I had to get it from. I think it's a print-on-demand type of situation. Anyway, the 52 Book Club reading challenge is a set of 52 prompts. So with my 52 books that I'm trying to read this year, I'm going to try and meet all of these prompts. And there's a big long list. I'll link to the channel and you can find the information there if you are interested in having a look at it. So sorry, I should have mentioned that when we were talking more generally about the year. And the reason that I mention it is because we're going to talk about it as I tell you about the books that I'm thinking about reading in January. But before we get to that, let me tell you what books I've started in January. I have several books that I have carried over from 2025 that I started. And most of them I have paused at the moment, because I'm not looking to pick them up right this minute. But the one that I am continuing with actively is To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. I started this right at the end of 2025, like literally days before the end of 2025, and I have not yet finished it. I still have not too much more to go. I would say roughly about 50 pages to go of a 200-page book. So I'm 3/4 of the way in. So I'm continuing on with that one. That one will not count towards any of the prompts that I'm doing for the 52 Book Club, because I started it in 2025, so I'm not going to include it. But I do want to finish it. I will probably do the same throughout the year with some of these books that I've got paused, or I might end up DNFing them. We'll see. Okay. But I have also started a couple of other books that are going to go towards it. Actually, let me tell you about the one that I'm not including with a prompt as well. I also picked this book up. I used some Christmas money. It was a voucher that I got that included Dimmicks, which is a bookstore here in Australia. And I used... No, that wasn't this one. No, I used my Christmas money from my father-in-law to buy this one. So this is the Best of Australian Poems 2025 with guest editors Nam Lee and Jill Jones. So I've already made a start on this one. I'm 50 pages in, so I'm going to keep reading that one. That one's not counting towards any of the prompts for the challenge. But I have put these two against some prompts. The next two I'm going to talk to you about that I have made a start on. So the first one is called Great Writers and the Cats Who Owned Them by Susannah Fullerton. This was a book that was gifted to me by my husband's auntie, sort of in maybe November, I think, of last year. And I have finally made a start of it. This one is going towards the prompt number 39, which is a book that cost you nothing. So because this was a gifted book, it cost me nothing. So yeah, that's why I'm putting it towards that prompt. And the other book that I have made a start on is The Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov. I'm sure I've said that incorrectly. Apologies. I am reading this one as part of a read-along that Cam is hosting. Cam's Campbell? I can't remember his surname, I'm so sorry. Anyway, he is hosting a read-along of this book. I've never read it before. So I decided I would join in. That's going to be over January and February. And this one I am putting towards the prompt number 22, which is spotted in a TV series or movie, and that is Gilmore Girls. Because I have here on my hook my Rory Gilmore reading challenge, which I've never spoken about on this channel before actually, but I have this little list which is all of the books that were ever mentioned. Ooh, hello Xanthi joining us for this portion of the video. It's all the books that Rory is seen holding in Gilmore Girls, and it's just a fun list. There's a lot of classics on it. There's a lot of interesting books on it, so that's why I've included it there. There will be other books that I will be able to tick off from that list as well. It's sort of just a vague ongoing project that I have, and I'm pleased to be able to be adding some more to it. Okay, let's have a talk about the other books that I'm thinking about reading in January. Now these are all very loose, tentative books. I don't know if I'm going to read most of them, in fact, but they're ones that I'm considering. A pile of possibilities, if you will. The first one is a book I don't actually have a physical copy of, and I should say for the 52 Book Club I am trying to mostly use books that I already have. I already own, mostly in hard copy, but I do own an ebook of this book. So we'll see if I get to it. I'm planning on taking an e-reader with me on my holiday, which I'm about to head to, and the book is Beach Read by Emily Henry. This actually could work for 2 different prompts, so I'll decide which one I'm going to do it for. This one could work for 23, which is a grumpy sunshine trope, a trope that I quite like in a romance. And also it could work for number 48, which is related to the word nemesis, because I believe they start as rivals, like in terms of their writing, and then two lovers. But I'm counting that as sort of being nemesis kind of behaviour. So yeah, that's a book I'm considering reading this January. Another book that I'm considering reading is Sexing the Cherry by Jeanette Winterson. This one I would put towards prompt number 26, which is a title in a serif font, as in it's got little curly bits coming off the letters, which, as you can see, this one definitely does. This is a book I've had for some time, and I had intended to read it some time ago, and I just never got to it. So I want to maybe give this one a go. So we'll see. We'll see if we get to it. I probably should start telling you a little bit about some of these books, shouldn't I? On the back it just says, "My name is Jordan. This is the first thing I saw. It was night, about 11:45, the sky divided in halves, one cloudy, the other fair. In the reign of Charles II, the first pineapple came to England. Who brought it and why? Pineapple as metaphor is not the only fruit to be real and imaginary. This is a story which ebulliently rejects any single reading of history or life and revels in the multiplicity of truth and time," which sounds so interesting to me. So yeah, hopefully we'll get to that one. Another book I'm considering reading this January is I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith. This one is a prompt that's about being set in a castle, prompt number 50. So that's why I'm considering this, but it's also a book I've had on my shelf for some time. I saw the film a long time ago now and really loved it, and I bought the book based on the how much I enjoyed the film. So we'll see if we get to this one, but I'm excited to read it. And basically this is all about a family, an eccentric family called the Mortmain family, and that it says they have been rattling around in a vast decrepit castle for years, gradually slipping into financial ruin. Mortmain is crippled by writer's block, while his beautiful second wife Topaz struggles to be a dutiful stepmother to Rose, Cassandra and Thomas. Rose needs a husband, Thomas an education, but Cassandra lives for her writing, so she's the storyteller in this book. Through her gloriously witty and shrewd diaries, she chronicles the trials of family life, the impact of the arrival of a glamorous American family, and the agonies of falling in love for the first time. So yeah, I really enjoyed the film, so I'm hoping I'll also really enjoy the book. Another book that I'm considering is a book that's in a series, and that is Monk's Hood, which is the third book in the Brother Cadfael mysteries. And I started this series last year and really enjoyed it, and I want to read a few this year. I want to try and read a couple of these this year, so I'm gonna hopefully get started in January. I won't tell you what this one's about because it's the third book in the series, but Brother Cadfael is a monk in medieval times, and he's lived a life before he becomes a monk, and so he's got a lot of skills in various things, and he is pretty good at solving mysteries, it seems. And mysteries keep finding him, I guess. So that's basically the premise of this, but the writing's really good and it's really fun, so I'm hoping to read that one. Another one that I literally just today was like, you know what, I think I would like to add this to my TBR for January, this is a bind-up of two books, Mermaid Singing and Peel Me a Lotus by Charmian Clift, who is an Australian writer who sadly passed away some time ago. This one I would put towards prompt number 40, which is the author has their first and last name starts with the same letter. So obviously, C, that would work perfectly for that one. But basically this is a memoir, two memoirs, all about her family moving to Greece and enjoying their time there. It's kind of like chronicling what happened there. So that would be a really interesting one to read. Another one that I'm considering is Creation Lake by Rachel Kushner. This was nominated for a prize. I can't remember which one. It might have been the Booker. It might have been the Women's Prize. Anyway, it was a couple of years ago now, but I was very interested in it at the time, and I picked up a copy and would be keen to read it. The prompt that I'm putting this one against is, where are we? Number 35, which is Character with a Secret Identity. And the secret identity for this one, so her name is Sadie Smith, and she's an undercover agent, and she infiltrates this kind of like cult, and then I think things start to go a bit, you know, she starts to lose the control that she thought she had. So yeah, I think this will be an interesting one, but I think that works really well for that prompt. And the last book that I'm considering for this month, and who knows, other things may pop up, but it is Tide, The Science and Law of the Greatest Force on Earth by Hugh Aldersey Williams. I picked it, this is another one that I've sort of just added to the TBR, and that's because I'm about to go on a trip to the coast, and I was like, actually, I don't have any non-fiction, well, other than I've also picked up a memoir, but mostly I've got a lot of fiction, so it would be good to have a non-fiction there, and this would be a good one because I'm going to be near the water. So yeah, I'm interested in this one. Basically, this is just all about tides. I probably don't need to read the back for you. But yeah, and that one I'm going to put towards prompt number 9, which is Featuring a Natural Disaster. I checked. They do mention floods, which I'm counting as a natural disaster. So I think that will work for that prompt. So those are the books I'm considering. My pile of possibilities for January. And I'm hopeful about this year of reading. I think it's going to be an interesting one. I'm really hoping to read a lot of my own books that I have physical copies of. I'm not going to put any official limits on myself for buying books, but I am going to try and take it a little bit more easy than I have in this year that's just been. I purchased a lot of books, a lot of them thrifted, so most of the books I purchased were thrifted, but yeah, it's still, I'm struggling to find where to put the books. I have a lot more books than I have space for, really. So I want to kind of limit myself a little bit there, but not to the degree of saying like I'm not going to buy books. I will. I'm gonna still buy books, but I'm gonna try and only be bringing things into my house that I'm really excited about. So we'll see. We'll see how the year pans out. We'll see what gets released in 2026. There could be some really interesting releases. So anyway, we shall see. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments what your reading goals are for this year, or if you've got books you're excited to dive into in January. I'd love to hear all about those too. Thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.